Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Prasad and you're watching KiniFlash. Is that a bird? Is that a plane? None of us in Klang Valley can actually answer that because we can't see anything. Because since September 5th, we've had a guest in our country who just doesn't want to leave, causing all sorts of trouble. The haze. I'm talking about the haze, guys, not anything else. And in certain parts in Selangor, the situation is so bad that some schools have been forced to close after the Air Pollution Index API reading in Johor Setia Klang this morning exceeded 200. In a statement today, the Selangor Education Department said these schools were Sekolah Kebangsaan Johor Setia, SK Jalan Kebun and Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Jalan Kebong. Those school children were exposed to an API of above 200, which is considered very unhealthy. Even anything from 101 to 200 is considered unhealthy, and if it's above 300, that's just plain hazardous. According to the department, any school in the state which is located in an area with API readings above 200, the administration shall take action as stated in the Ministry of Education circular by immediately closing the institution until the situation improves. But don't worry, our cabinet ministers are on it. Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad told reporters that they met yesterday to discuss ways to manage the ongoing haze situation that has blanketed several parts of the country. Mahathir was also asked about the statement by Indonesian Environment and Forestry Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar, who said that the haze in Malaysia was caused by its own forest fires. Dr. Mahathir had a very diplomatic response, quote, "That's her comment, so we can't say anything." But what can we do? Do we have the legal framework in place to punish those causing the haze? That seems like a question for our de facto law minister.
Do you think if we pass law, as many law as we can, will stop the haze from entering our countries, from the neighboring country? I think we have to have what they call it. But yeah, we have to find the solutions, the measures to ensure that our neighboring countries will not do all this open burning.
The minister stressed that the importance of educating those in neighboring countries to not cause haze, as well as to provide alternatives to open burning. But legal recourse is still on the table.
Is there legal recourse and any legal means that?
I think I will look into that. I will look into it and see what we can do to take up legal action against them.
Against the country or the companies that are burning? Or?
I think companies, those dealing with all this oil palm, clearing of the jungles, clearing of all these big forests. I think we have to look into that. Yeah?
If you thought PKR was the only party with infighting, think again. The rift in Perak DAP appears to be deepening after two of its office bearers quit yesterday over a dispute with Perak DAP chief Nga Komeng. Nga has said that the tiff with former Deputy Treasurer Leong Chok Keng and Assistant Secretary Leo Tai Yi would be solved internally while taking the blame for the dispute. At a press conference yesterday, Leong and Liao claimed that Nga did not consult the Perak DAP leadership before deciding that Perak Pakatan Harapan would make the final decision on Paul Yong's status as a state cabinet member. Yong currently is on leave ahead of a rape trial. Leong is Yong's lawyer and also the Malim Nawa State Assembly person. In a statement today, Perak DAP State Committee defended Nga and said Liao and Leong had made baseless accusations and that resigning based on a media report was unbecoming. A doctor has given former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak a 2-day medical certificate. Why is this news? Because of that, the 2.28 billion ringgit 1MD trial will only resume on Tuesday next week. In a text message, Najib's lawyer Shafi Abdullah confirmed that the defense was informed that the hearing would resume next week due to his client still on medical leave today. A court official this morning also confirmed that the open court proceedings will not resume today, but on Tuesday next week. Najib was unable to attend the hearing yesterday as he had come down with conjunctivitis, a type of contagious eye disease. The Communications and Multimedia Ministry is in the process of preparing a cabinet paper for a law to set up an independent Malaysian media council.
At present, I am preparing a paper to be brought to Cabinet on the Media Council. I hope that that paper can be, I hope that I'm able to table it soon to Cabinet, and of course once I've done that, then I will announce it. But it's in the process, and I expect it to be ready anytime soon, this week, next week, but definitely by the end of this year.
So it's still on track to be tabled in November? Or
Yes. It is in Cabinet, yes, in Cabinet. Yes.
4 separate groups representing working journalists, publishers, editors, civil society groups and the National Press Club had submitted versions of a draft law earlier this year to guide the formation of an independent media council. It was understood that the ministry would further consult the groups after obtaining cabinet approval and come up with a draft bill to be tabled in Parliament. Moving on to international news, or should I say interstellar news, scientists have found water 100 light years from Earth.
Scientists for the first time have detected water in the atmosphere of an Earth-like planet orbiting a distant star, evidence that a key ingredient for life exists beyond our solar system, according to a study published on Wednesday. The latest discovery was reported in research by a team of scientists at University College London, or UCL, published in the peer-reviewed journal Nature Astronomy. Angelos Tsiaras, an astronomer at UCL, said the team is focusing its attention on identifying exoplanets with conditions similar to those on Earth.
This is the first time that we have discovered an atmosphere around a planet that is not a gas giant, a super Earth, and it is within the habitable zone of a star. This means that it has the right temperature to host liquid water.
Water vapor was found in the atmosphere of K2-18b, one of hundreds of what's called super-Earths or worlds ranging in size between Earth and Neptune, documented in a growing new field of astronomy devoted to the exploration of so-called exoplanets elsewhere in the Milky Way galaxy. While light from the Sun takes several minutes to reach Earth, light from K2-18b star takes a century to reach our planet. Aside from the tremendous distance separating Earth from K2-18b, the exoplanet is likely being exposed to far more radiation than Earth, diminishing the prospects for life evolving there. However, the scientists claim that the discovery brings astronomers closer to answering the fundamental question of how unique Earth is in the universe.
I know a lot of people who just love vaping. Some of you can't even put it down for 5 seconds. But good news is you're not in the United States because President Donald Trump is clamping down on flavored e-cigarettes.
The Trump administration announced plans on Wednesday to remove all flavored e-cigarettes from store shelves in a widening crackdown on vaping, as officials warned that sweet flavors have drawn millions of children into nicotine addiction.
But people are dying with vaping, so we're looking at it very closely. And, you know, if nothing else, this is a conference that's going to let people know about it, because people are going to watch what we're saying. And parents are going to be a lot tougher with respect to their children. A lot of people think vaping is wonderful, it's great. It's really not wonderful.
President Donald Trump and top United States officials expressed concern about the surge in teenage use of e-cigarettes. The move comes as health officials are investigating a handful of deaths and potentially hundreds of lung illnesses tied to vaping. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said that with Trump's blessing, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, is working on a, quote, guidance document that would lead to a ban of all e-cigarette flavors aside from tobacco flavoring. He said the ban would include mint and menthol flavoring as well as bubblegum, candy, fruit, alcohol, and other flavors. Azhar added that tobacco flavoring will be allowed to remain, subject to companies filing for approval from the FDA. Even that would be at risk if the government determined that children were attracted to it or that it was being marketed to them. The move is the most sweeping action yet by the US government to crack down on what it has called an epidemic of youth e-cigarette usage.
And here are several other headlines from today. And that's all from me today. For more stories, go to KiniTV.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube for the latest news updates. I'm Prasad. Thank you for watching. Good night.